Hello, little enzymes. Welcome back to Dacia's Digest. The topic of today's video is babies. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let's just get right into it. The first story was cross-posted on the Dacia's Digest subreddit, and the title is, "Am I the a-hole for getting a babysitter because my mom was keeping her home?" I'm a single mom with a 4-year-old daughter, Anna. Anna and I live with my mom. We both work and Anna goes to daycare full time. Daycare would be about half my income, so I get a subsidy that covers $1,400 out of her $2,000 tuition. 14? Yo, I'm never having kids. That's crazy. $2,000 tuition per month just for daycare. And that's, I think, on the low end, because I've heard of higher prices, like with my friends who have kids. Anyways, the only condition of the subsidy is that she actually has to show up. If she misses too many days, I lose the subsidy. I go to work at 7:30 and daycare opens at 8, so my mom would be the one to take Anna to daycare. Anna's main teacher is a 20 to 21-year-old girl. When I've talked to her, she's always been very animated and energetic. She's great with the kids. Anna always comes home saying this teacher brought stickers, she brought juice, she brought bubbles, she did face painting, etc., and always has fun crafts that she did with her teacher. This teacher is her favorite person in the world right now, and Anna often runs away from my mom to jump on this teacher in the mornings and hides when my mom picks her up because she doesn't want to leave this teacher. My mom started to get jealous that Anna likes the teacher better than her, so she started keeping her home from daycare on her days off or when she only has 1 to 2 easy clients. She cleans houses. I found out Anna missed 5 days over the past 3 weeks. I asked my mom about it and she told me she wanted Anna to spend more time with family instead of with teachers, and I told my mom Anna needs to be in daycare unless she's sick or I would lose the subsidy. She was arguing that if Anna needs to be in daycare, she should be in one with more family values and not some rich white girl trying to save the poor kids. The teacher is a girl from a well-off family marrying into a well-off family, and the daycare isn't in the most well-off neighborhood. What that got to do with anything? She can't take care of kids just because she has money? She has bins full of clothes for the kids, gave everyone a water bottle with their name on it, has a much nicer classroom than the other teachers, and drives a car worth more than my mom and I combined could make in a year. She's setting up a field trip to the local airport so her fiance can talk to the kids about flying planes and so they can look at his jet. I told her I wouldn't. This is the best daycare that takes this subsidy, and I won't be moving her just because she's jealous. She was still insisting on Anna either being with family or being in a more family-based daycare, so I got her a babysitter. I drop her off to my neighbor at 7:30 when I leave for work, and she drops Anna off at 8:15 on her way to take her kids to school. She only charges me $10 a day. I don't love the breakfast that she gives Anna, but I know she's going to daycare and I won't lose the subsidy. Now my mom is pissed that I'm keeping Anna away from her. Am I the a-hole for sending Anna to a babysitter in the mornings because my mom wasn't taking Anna to daycare? Child, not the a-hole. And honestly, the mom's thinking, in my opinion, is flawed. The teacher seems like a nice, well-meaning, thoughtful lady. Just because she's rich, like, I don't think you should judge her just because she's rich. She's getting the kids water bottles, trying to get them new experiences, using her own like personal connections to take them different places that they otherwise wouldn't have had access to. That's great. And like, as the lady said, this is the best daycare that she would be able to get with that takes the subsidy. So it does sound like mom is being jealous and trying to, I don't know, take control of the situation. I don't know. I would have did the same thing. I think that's a perfect setup. $10 a day, that's kind of a lot though. $10 a day. She goes 5 days, 50, that's $200 a month. $200 a month just because your mom won't do the right thing. That's crazy. But I'm glad she was able to find a good solution. I don't think she's the a-hole. That's a great idea that she came up with. Someone said, "You're not the a-hole. Your mother is overstepping, but the correct solution, regardless of how challenging it will be, is for you to move out and handle all of this on your own." Opie said, "That would be a stretch for me and Anna, but maybe possible if we move from our 3-bedroom house to a 1-bedroom apartment. My mom couldn't afford to live on her own." I don't know if that would be the correct solution, especially given people's like financial, yeah, I don't know if that would be the correct solution to move out and then just struggle further just because for what? It doesn't sound like the mom is being harmful while she is overstepping a lot of boundaries and stuff. Hopefully she'll learn from this experience. I don't know, maybe they can talk about it and stuff, but moving out seems a bit drastic, especially when you are in such a financial situation where you need a subsidy to pay for your daycare. I wouldn't move out. Now, if OP can actually afford to live out on her own, because she said that her mom can't afford to live on her own. If she can afford to live on her own comfortably, then okay, yeah, because at the end of the day, the mom is a grown up, and so, she will eventually have to take care of herself. But yeah, anyways. That's just a little bit of a warm up. Let me go to the next one. This one is, am I the a-hole for refusing to change my baby's name after I named her after my dad's affair partner? I, 26 female, just gave birth to my daughter, Annabelle. I didn't announce it beforehand because in the past, one of my family members stole a baby name and it created a lot of drama. My mom wanted to know, but I was adamant on keeping it a secret. My mom and dad were in the room when I gave birth, and when it was time for me to sign the birth certificate, my mom asked for the name and I told her Annabelle. Her face went pale and my dad didn't look too happy, but he said he loved the name. My mom left a few minutes later claiming she didn't feel well, and she said she'll come over in a few days to help with the baby. Now I'm at home with the baby and my mom hasn't talked to me much. We used to talk every day, so I was confused by the sudden behavior. My sister, Emily, lives with my mom still, so I called her over to talk. When she got to my house, she explained how she overheard Dad and Mom arguing because about 10 years ago, Dad had an affair with a coworker named Annabelle. Mom hasn't been talking to him and he's been trying to get her to talk. I guess Dad, realizing that Emily had come over, decided to come over himself. He asked if there's any way that I can change Annabelle's name. I asked him why to see if he'd tell me the truth. And he did. He admitted to the affair. He begged Mom not to leave him and she stayed, but just hearing that name had always put her in a bad headspace. I told him I can't, and that Annabelle was the name of my husband's grandmother who helped raise him. My dad begged and pleaded for me to change it, saying Mom was in the middle of packing her bags and heading to her sister's house. Whoa, what's going on? Now, come on, sis. You chose to forgive your husband for his indiscretions. So simply just hearing the name should not be throwing you into a tizzy like this. If you were still gonna have these type of feelings, I think there maybe needs to be some therapy or something. But I mean, I get how that could be triggering. But again, you chose to forgive him, and also it's not as if he's like re-offending. It's not as if he went, cheated again. It's just the literal name. So packing your bags because you heard the name, I don't know, that seems a bit crazy to me because it's not like he did anything else, That just tells me that she never truly forgave him in the first place. She maybe just buried it in the back of her mind. So OP says, I told him I won't change her name and that it means so much to me and my husband. He began to raise his voice and immediately my sister yelled back and told him to get the heck out. She told him not to stress me out about a mess he created. He left immediately. I'm not changing my baby's name, but I feel like this is tearing the family apart. What should I do? Small edit, Annabelle isn't her real name. Her real name only has 3 letters, so a nickname based off her name wouldn't be possible. And a lot of you suggested to change her first name to her middle name, but her middle name is my mom's name, and I don't want to change that. So it's basically like the husband and wife named the daughter after their mothers, basically, or the mother figures in their life. I wouldn't change the name. I'm sorry. Off GP, I wouldn't change the name. I didn't cheat. Why would I have to be the one to change the name? You go fix whatever problem you created, but I'm not going to continue to gloss over the issue because, yeah, I wouldn't change the name. Somebody said, yes, change her name. It's the graceful thing to do and not really a problem for you. OP responded, it really is though. My husband's mom had him at a really young age, so his grandma raised him. She recently passed away, so this is our way to honor her. And this is a baby we've been trying for. So for the past 6 months, we've been calling her Annabelle. In this case, my husband's feelings matter more than my mother's because this is his child too. That's a good point. My husband and I talked about it, and as much as this hurts my mom, his grandma was Superwoman. I can't hurt my husband because my dad hurt my mom. My dad needs to fix it, not me. I agree. I completely agree. She made a good point. It's not just her decision on the baby's name. This is something that her and her husband came to an agreement with. He has no ties to whatever the dad did, so the dad needs to fix his issues. The name is staying. Someone else said, that's very odd of you naming her that. You wouldn't like that if you were in your mom's position. That's all I'm saying. OP said, I didn't know until 4 days later. Paperwork is already filed, and now it will cost to change the name. And the verdict was mixed between not the a-hole and you're the a-hole. I'm interested to see what the comments will say on this video. I'm interested to see what y'all think about this. I say not the a-hole. So update. So my sister went over to my aunt's house to talk to my mom about what happened. My mom then came to my house to talk. She broke down saying how sorry she is for being distant and that it was wrong not to communicate with us about what was happening. She said while the name did shock her at first, she knew how much Annabelle meant to my husband and that she'll never do anything to discredit the work she put into raising him. I asked why she didn't tell us about the affair. She said because she knew that she was mentally too weak to leave, and the last thing she wanted was to show us it's okay to stay with a man who cheated on you. I asked if she was planning on leaving Dad, and she said she doesn't know. She admitted that she never got over the affair and is mad at herself for ruining the moment her granddaughter was born. Exactly. She wasn't over the affair. Okay, let me clarify. Not saying that she should have gotten over it. But my thing is either accept it, stay, work it out, or don't accept it and leave. But the whole gray area is where it gets tricky. You got to make a choice. If you're going to stay, then you're going to accept it. More comments. Someone says, sounds like mom just needs time to mentally process and hopefully can move forward positively. OP said, I agree. I thought when my dad came over that it was a condition that my mom had in order to heal their relationship, but she never said anything like that to him. And another person, yeah, this is not fixed. She's saying things but not feeling them yet. And it's going to seriously hit the fan if she winds up divorced or your sister starts harping on her to divorce because she will 100% associate your kid with her life falling apart. I don't agree with that. I don't agree. The kid literally has nothing to do with it. It's just a name. The father cheating would be what she needs to 100% associate with her life falling apart. That's what it needs to be. Opie said, I get this is a possibility, but I'm pretty sure no one will blame my child. My father will 100% be responsible. Even my aunt told her that the baby is innocent and that nobody is to blame but my dad. My mom looks up to my aunt and usually listens to her advice. I'm pretty sure my aunt was pushing for her to start a divorce, so it's most likely going to happen. Yeah. So, actually, let me just double check. Let me see if she has any other posts. Oh, there is another one that was posted the next day. Okay, update 2. She says, so I'm actually going to separate myself from my mom and dad. My mom said she was going to get couples counseling as well as therapy for herself. I thought that was good. I guess my dad read somewhere that it's best to be completely honest about the situation if he wants to move on. My dad is a science teacher at a high school, so Annabelle wasn't actually a coworker, but a student. Wait a minute. He taught her as a freshman and had her in his AP class as a senior. She graduated at 17 and they added each other on Facebook and things went from there, I guess. What? No, I'm not liking that. I asked my mom if she knew Annabelle was a student and not a coworker. She broke down and admitted that she did. I asked her, how can she be with someone like that? And she didn't answer me. My sister was disgusted by him and cursed him out, calling him a child lover. She said she would never talk to him again. I agreed with her and told my mom that I can't allow my kids around her if she thought that my dad's behavior was okay. My dad said that Annabelle was an adult and that it was a mistake what happened between them. He then said it was a mistake to be open about the situation if it was only going to make things worse. My sister moved in with me, which I don't mind because the house has plenty of room. My dad and mom have been blowing up our phones, but I can't talk to either of them right now. I need more information on just how old the girl was, because there's, this level of concern. It already is bad that he was messing around with a student, like one of his students, because you're in a position of power and authority. That's just not a good look. But how old was the girl? Because that would bring the level of concern exponentially higher. She graduated at 17. He said she was an adult, but that seems like a clever way to say like she was at least 18. And again, we're missing some details, so I don't know if she really was 18. I don't know how, what the time frame was after she graduated. Either way, it's still bad because he was the teacher and she was the student. And then the fact that he said, oh, well, I wouldn't have been so open if it's only going to make things worse. Boy, if you don't get that's crazy. So she doesn't have any comments on this update. Somebody said, are you still naming your baby Annabelle though? Bro, read the room. Somebody said, increasingly fake, but congratulations, you got attention. I didn't think it was fake. It didn't sound fake to me. Somebody said, you jumped the shark by making the affair partner a teenager. She didn't say the affair partner was a teenager, but it was one of his previous students. So that still is bad. And if it was a teenager, that, again, is exponentially worse. Ooh, child. Let me go to the next one. So this one is, husband wants to divorce and start over because he can't bond with the baby. Throw away because I want to fix this and I'm paranoid about more people in our lives finding out. It's all so messed up already. I don't want more stress. My husband, 29 male, and I, 30 non-binary, have been married for 5 years. I gave birth to our first child in September, a girl. My husband was present for most of my labor, but things went very pear-shaped and I had to have an emergency C-section. The doctors told him to leave the room and wait outside. In short, he did not see our daughter be born. A week ago, he informed me that he wants to divorce and start over on his dreams of having a family. He insists that he cannot bond with our daughter and says it's because he didn't see her being born. He said a lot about how it's always been a dream of his to have a small, close-knit family, and now he can't have that with me because of the C-section and his not being in the room. What? This doesn't make any sense. I'm flabbergasted. His dad suggested therapy, but husband refused, saying he knew it wouldn't work. I made sure he knows I'm open to the idea if he changes his mind, but he's been very insistent that he knows this can't be fixed. Part of me knows I'm basically asking for a magic spell here, but does anyone have any ideas how or if this can be fixed? I'll try to answer any questions anyone may have. This doesn't make it sounds to me as if he don't want to be a father for real. Once the baby came, it sounds like he started freaking out and making up things in his head like, I didn't see the baby born, like, oh, like I just, maybe he's having because I've heard that men can get PPD. Maybe he's having like some sort of PPD or something. Either way, you ain't got to tell me twice that you don't want to be around me. You, bye. I mean, I know it's hard because they have a newborn and they thought they were gonna have the husband, but bye, bruh. Someone said he's just using this as an excuse to leave you. Another person, yes, I'm sorry, OP. He has decided to leave, but is making a horrible excuse. Someone else says, yeah, holy cow, better to not make a ridiculous excuse than this. There are guys who would be a father to that kid who aren't even the bio father. This guy is just disgusting. I wonder if he's talked to a friend who has rubber stamped it. It just sounds stupid. Someone else says, this is the lamest thing I've ever read, and I would say he needs to start therapy immediately, but I suspect he is making this story up to mask his real feelings. He is scared and doesn't want to be a dad. He is making up this perfect family dream thing, either subconsciously or consciously. Seeing a birth is not what creates bonding. I agree. And then OP has a comment on being non-binary. They say, I realized in my late teens, and he's known since before we started dating. We went to the same college and met in a shared class, and we were friends for about a year before anything romantic developed. He was much more active with her before announcing his desire to start over. Now, he doesn't do much with her beyond basic babysitting stuff when I'm at work. Wait, so how old is oh, she had the child in. So when this was posted, the baby was already September, October, November, December. The baby was already like 4 months old when she made that first post. For some reason in my head, I was thinking it was like a week old or like a couple days old or something like that. So a little bit of time had passed. Yeah, he don't want to be a father. He's making up excuses. I'm 100% sure now. He saw how hard it is taking care of a baby. He probably isn't bonding with a baby and has made up some reasoning on why he thinks that is and is blaming it on not seeing the baby being born. Either way, I wouldn't have this man around my child. But I understand they probably are in a tough spot, especially if they have to work and I don't know. Dang, that's tough. So someone else said, how will divorcing you and then getting remarried help him bond with his daughter? Seems like the wrong fix to the problem, but there is a problem for sure, so don't let others just tell you he's a piece of crap and you're better without him. OP said, I'm sorry I wasn't clear. He wants to divorce me so he can find a new wife and start over. He insists he can't have his dream family with me because of our daughter and the lack of a bond. Okay, so that low-key tells me even more that maybe he's having some sort of a male PPD experience or something. Something is off. Opie said several people suggested asking him to come with me to a therapist so I can get help understanding why he's leaving. He agreed and our appointment was yesterday. It didn't go badly, but it didn't go well either. He was very upfront with the therapist. He didn't try to mince words or refuse to answer questions. He told the man, paraphrasing, they got to bond the entire pregnancy. That baby is made of their body. I can't compare to that. My work started at birth, and I wasn't there, so I don't feel like I ever got hired, if that makes sense. Okay. So OP says, yeah, he compared it to not having an employment contract. I get the metaphor, I guess, but I'm not sure how it translates to him not being able to bond. Several people made transphobic comments and several other people asked if maybe my lack of gender was an issue. I assumed no because husband had known that I'm non-binary since before we started dating, but I did bring it up while we were with the therapist. Husband insists that no, it has nothing to do with anything. He didn't care about what I am, but how I did. What? The therapist was very focused on trying to help me understand, and I appreciate that. No complaints with him. I'm still completely in the dark though, and husband has started talking about choosing a lawyer. He says he wants a clean break before daughter gets too attached. Wow. What is going on here? So legit, since you didn't see, so is he feeling, I really feel like there's something else going on, and he's hanging his hat up on the reason that it is because he didn't see the baby being born. That's not the issue. The issue is him not being able to bond with the baby, which happens. It happens for mothers, it happens for fathers. So he needed to try to get to the bottom of that instead of just trying to hang it up on this one specific reason and then being like, okay, I'm gonna chase after that. That's definitely what it is, because guarantee, even if he finds another partner, even if he has another baby, he's still gonna have the same problems. I can almost 100% guarantee, because he's not getting to the root of what the actual problem is. Whew. So some of the comments, someone said, I can't bond with my daughter, so I want a clean break before she bonds too much with me. Are you sure your husband is all there? Has he had some sort of mental break or something? This literally makes no sense to me at all. Another comment, he wants to leave OP and is using the child as an excuse. His reasoning and explanations are nonsensical. Edit to add, OP thinks he was being forthcoming and clear or consistent with the therapist. I see his concise answers as a sign of him being rehearsed. In other words, he worked on his cover-up/alibi story, which is why it's so easy for him to regurgitate it over and over. Either he didn't realize how hard being a parent would be and wants to opt out, or he wants to leave OP and is blaming the baby because it's convenient. OP had a traumatic birth, and somehow the victim in the entire situation is the dad, not the person who was cut open, or the baby that was yanked out. The dad. Another comment, yeah, it sounds like he already has plans to move on, especially mentioning how he wants to be able to go have his close-knit family. Probably has some woman waiting for him that he's going to end up doing the same thing to once she has a child. That's what I feel like. And another person, so I hope child support is involved here. He doesn't just get to claim no bonding and get his clean break. I'd also like to see how he gets another partner to seriously consider him after they find out how he treated you and your child. OP responded, I have no intention of letting him off the support hook. His dad knows. His mother passed away about a decade ago. Father-in-law isn't too keen on husband's reasoning. I haven't told my family yet. Father-in-law is firmly on my side. I made husband tell father-in-law all this mess when he first told me. Father-in-law also tried to push husband for therapy, but husband says it can't be fixed. Something is going on here. This is odd. So there's another update, child. It says, likely final update, update 2. This is probably going to be long, and it isn't a happy update. Oh no. My other posts can be seen in my post history, but the short of it is that I, 30 non-binary, gave birth to my daughter in September. My soon-to-be ex-husband, 29 male, did not see her birth. Things went very badly and I needed emergency intervention. He was not in the room for the C-section. About a month and a half ago, he informed me that he cannot bond with her because he did not see her be born. And he wants to divorce so he can start over on his dreams of a close-knit family. We have filed. I have taken daughter and moved back in with my parents, who aren't very happy about the divorce, but are thrilled to have the chance to nanny daughter. Their words, not mine. Life was in stasis for about a week after my last post until father-in-law asked us to come over for dinner. He informed me that soon-to-be ex had asked for his help paying for a lawyer. He had agreed with the requirement that we all sit down and have one last talk about the situation. He opened with saying that he thinks that getting this over with would be the best for me and daughter. Soon-to-be ex looked a little hurt at this, so he's willing to help, but he wanted to take one last shot at fixing it. The one last shot ended up being several hours of talking. Father-in-law bluntly demanded that soon-to-be-ex explain his reasoning. Soon-to-be-ex repeated the can't bond thing. Father-in-law asked why. The employment contract analogy was brought up again. After much back and forth, what do you mean by this? Why that? Father-in-law just said, I'm not buying this. What's the real reason? Soon-to-be-ex insisted till the end that what he'd been saying all along was his reasoning. He did not see daughter be born, so he can't bond. He tried, he insisted. The connection isn't there. He was supposed to connect when daughter was born. There was supposed to be a spark of connection between them, but that spark can only happen right at birth, I guess. In his mind, he can't get it now. Father-in-law asked if soon-to-be-ex thought daughter wasn't his. Soon-to-be-ex insists he has no doubts he is daughter's biological father. Father-in-law asked if soon-to-be-ex was seeing someone else. Was there a woman or another pregnancy somewhere? Soon-to-be-ex did not react well to this. He threw his phone down on the table and said that we were free to search. He is not a scumbag. After that, the conversation turned to post-divorce life. Soon-to-be-ex offered up that he'd been running up numbers and would volunteer $50 a month alimony and $50 a month in child support. He doesn't have to do either because we're divorcing and he wants to cut all ties with the kid, but he wants to be fair. What am I going to do with $100 a month? That's not even enough for my phone bill. $100 a month? You have to be kidding me. You can keep that. That's literally $1,200 a year. That's nothing. That's not even a full rent payment. So OP continues, $50 in alimony? Whatever. I have a job and a roof over our heads. I don't need it. $50 in child support? That is a lot less. Whatever. I'm refusing to stress about it. The court will handle child support amounts. I'm making myself not be angry and let them deal with it. I admit I tuned out most of the rest of father-in-law's attempt to talk sense into his son after that comment. I think that was when the coffin finally nailed itself shut. I started packing when we got home and went to my parents' house the next day. I'm no longer talking to soon-to-be-ex. His lawyer talks to mine. We haven't spoken in almost 3 weeks. I don't think I need to tell you that he hasn't shown any concern for daughter, but here I am anyway. The day after I got there, my sister kidnapped me to her place. We got very drunk. Daughter was with parents, not us. Talked about everything and I screamed a lot. I got most of it out of my system. After that, we had more drinks and watched terrible horror movies. I woke up the next day with the headache from hell, but otherwise feeling better than I had in a long time. My job can't transfer me, just by luck, but I've been promised a glowing reference and I'm cashing out what little paid leave I have left to add to my savings. Father-in-law asked after the failed conversation if I would be cutting him off. I assured him that he might not see us as much because of how far away my parents live and not knowing where I'll end up, but he's not getting rid of me or daughter that easily. That's so sweet. He was very happy to hear that. So that's where I am. Papers have been filed. Daughter and I have moved out of the house. I'm doing my best to ignore soon-to-be-ex's existence. Thank you all again for listening to me cry and complain over the last couple of months. Oh my goodness. There's no way that's the real reason. Oh my goodness, there's another update, y'all. 7 months after this. So the baby at this point is like a year old. Oh yeah, she said in the update, daughter turned 1 this month. Okay, let me read this. I promised an update once things were over, and at this point, they're mostly over. So here I am. Daughter turned 1 this month. She landed on nod as her first word. I suspect this is because father-in-law brought home a foster-to-adopt dog a few months back whose previous owners called her Nod or Nodder. Daughter loves the heck out of this dog, you guys. Father-in-law sends me pictures of her every day to show to daughter. Ex-husband and I are just waiting on some final paperwork for the divorce to be complete. He has not contested anything. He did look the judge in the face and repeat the whole didn't see birth, can't bond thing. His lawyer did try and defend that claim. He presented studies that he claimed said things about damages to bonds when fathers weren't present and actively involved for everything, but ex-husband was. He was there and active and involved my entire pregnancy and was present for my entire labor until things went wrong. It wasn't a case of, ooh, hey, knocked someone up 5 years ago, now bond with this kid. Daughter was definitely less than an hour old when he held her for the first time, probably less than half an hour. And I had proof for this claim too. Among other things, I had pictures of the two of us at multiple prenatal appointments. Father-in-law was also willing to file a statement talking about how ex and he were involved in my pregnancy. Needless to say, the judge was not impressed with my ex's lawyer's arguments. He tried to push my ex for therapy, made comments about how ex would regret this later. Ex stood stubborn with his "I need to start over" line. He has visitation per the paperwork. Care to guess if he's used it? He does also have to pay child support. If you read my post history, you might remember that he offered me a gigantic $50 a month. That's all he's been paying, despite the judge ordering a lot more. So that's a fight I'm going to have to steel myself for. I'm surprised he started scanting out before the divorce was even final, but he did tell me and father-in-law that he's not a scumbag. So in his mind, he's probably just keeping true to his word or something. He's shown no interest in daughter. No other children, pregnancies, or potential partners have popped up either. As best father-in-law can tell, ex is single and not showing any interest in dating yet. I don't know how I feel, really. It would make more sense if he was cheating. It would be easier to have something solid to point to and go, F you for making my life fall apart, and then try to move on. But all lived evidence points to him honestly thinking he has to do this. I'm in therapy. I've found a place about middle of my parents and father-in-law, and I'm still doing freelance work. I would rate myself okay. Daughter is happy, healthy, and kicking off. She will be fine. I plan to never speak to ex again once this paperwork is done. I just have to wait to be able to totally start over myself. What the heck? Somebody says, you know what? This sounds like a late onset mental illness incident, like some sort of dissociation or derealization. I am so sorry. Brutal. But honestly, you're going to get through this and not have to spend the next 15 years trying to work on this with him. Yeah, something doesn't seem... In the beginning, I was thinking maybe he had like male PPD, but I don't know. Maybe this is like some sort of a psychotic break, child. I don't know. But if he want to leave, he can leave. That would be my... You want to leave, leave. I will not keep you here, sir. That's tough, though. That is tough. Having a newborn and then all of a sudden your husband, the father of the child, is like, oh, actually, nope. I don't want anything to do with her at all. I would be hurt. Well, so let me just... Okay, there's no other updates. So we'll go to the palette cleanser of today. And before we get to that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This palette cleanser I just thought was so freaking cute. It is a baby-related palette cleanser. It is from the Made Me Smile subreddit, and the caption is, "Baby chooses grandfather over other family members." So I don't know if you guys have seen those viral videos or whatever where like all the family members stand in a row and they put the baby like in front of them, and whoever the baby runs to basically is the favorite. So they like try the exercise over and over again to see if the baby runs to the same person or to different people. So you'll see like who the baby runs to. It goes straight to the grandfather. So they try it again. They tried again. The grandfather isn't even in the lineup. He's literally on the other side of everyone, like outside. And the baby turns. Hold on. He's looking for him. He turns. And he goes outside. So cute. Aww. His little baby steps. Oh, that is just so cute. You can tell he's a good granddad. Anyways, I thought that was so cute. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.